Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich, and welcome to another Christo-Pagan Sunday. I am going through our Witchcraft in the Bible series, part 6. But before I get to that, I do have some little points of order here that I want to go through before I go any further. One, yeah, just grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your beverage, whatever it may be. I have my cappuccino going here. Hopefully, it'll keep me up and running with enough time to get through this because I have like 2.5 handwritten pages. Um, I'm not going to be covering a lot of material. Overall, we're only going to go through like 4 different verses, but it gets us into the New Testament, and from there we should have 2 more episodes. So it's probably going to end up being a 9-part series. Might have to stretch it to a 10-part series um, to finish it out and round it out. But I'm going to try to keep it as concise as possible. But the way that I do this is I don't want to start on another book of the Bible before, or I don't want to start on a new book and then end an episode as it is and the video. I want to keep it kind of concise in that manner so that it's easy to go through one book at a time rather than, halfway through one of the books and then, pick it up where we left off. I find that probably being the easier way to do it. Just my thoughts. It's getting a little hot in here, so I'm going to take off all my clothes. I mean, not just this sweater here. Um, other things, other points of order is I rearranged my desk. I had the computer monitor over here, so I had you guys on a shelf that I was looking directly at you. Uh, I decided to try this different setup here. Hopefully it works. If you don't like it, let me know by leaving a comment below. If you do like it, also let me know by leaving a comment below. And you can see how awkward this is for me to take a sweater off without standing up or whatnot. Anyway, there we go. We're all good. And as you can see, there's a jelly right there. There's also a Karen kitten over there, Karen the cat. She's over there on her little chair that she absolutely loves. But if you would rather me be centered, do let me know. Just trying a couple things out. That's one of the locations that I ended up putting it because it just kind of looked different and kind of cool. So I'm just trying this out. Let me know what you think and other things. And none of this is actually like asking you to subscribe or anything. That'll come later. Okay, I said some things on the last Table Talk Thursday. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch. But I said some things about work on the last Table Talk Thursday. Hopefully, I'm able to actually tell you exactly what's been going on at work by the end of the week. I do have a special report that I'm writing up to let you guys know of what is all going on. So hopefully I can actually air that later this coming week. You're watching this on Sunday. I'm filming this on Saturday. So this by the end of next week or this week, however you want to envision that. By this time next week, hopefully I'll have a special report out. So do look forward to that. It will probably just be special report or something of that nature. And you can go ahead and get that by clicking subscribe. See, I tricked you. By clicking subscribe and hitting that bell notification. And while you're down there, hit that like button and comment. Let me know all the things. With that all being said, let me go ahead and get into our little disclaimer for the Witchcraft in the Bible series, and then we will get into the actual verses. As per usual, I do want to reiterate the purpose of this series. The series is a response to verses from the Bible that are commonly given as reasons against witchcraft. This is not a critique on the Bible or its validity as a sacred text. It is not a critique of the deity specifically. It is intended as a critique on how these verses are used. The critique of the Bible and the deity will be given at the end of this series. As usual, I will be using the New Catholic Answer Bible, this one right here specifically. With all that being said, I want to go to Nahum, or Nahum. It's one of those biblical books that are not really like ever talked about or used. Yeah, it's one of the books of prophecy that are not like really ever referenced, and I don't know why. Probably because there's only like 3 freaking chapters, and half of this one chapter, I will say, of chapter 3, I do want to issue a trigger warning for anybody that has any type of assault. If that triggers something for you, specifically sexual assault and whatnot, that will be a reference that is talked about on this specific verse. Okay. So if that is something that triggers you, do go on to the next one. I don't want to put anybody through that. So anyway, Nahum chapter 3 verse 4. And I actually want to go a couple verses after that. And it reads, "For the many debaucheries of the prostitute, a charming mistress of witchcraft, who enslaved nations with her prostitution and peoples by her witchcraft. Now come against you, oracle of the Lord of hosts, and I will lift your skirt above your face. I will show your nakedness to the nations, to the kingdoms, your shame. I will cast filth upon you, disgrace you, and make you a spectacle, until everyone who sees you runs from you, saying, Nineveh is destroyed. Who can pity her? Where can I find any console you? Or any to console you?" Okay. I have issues with this. And at first, whenever I was looking at this verse, I thought I had already read it because there was something similar. So I go back, and it was actually in Isaiah whenever they were talking about Babylon, not Nineveh. But you have this similar wording talking about making somebody naked and making them ashamed, personifying this city in this way, and with this disgusting, explicit assault type wording. What the fuck? But anyway, so let's break this down. The chapter's first portion states the city of Nineveh being a place of debauchery. It took me a while to realize where I heard this before, and it was in Isaiah, where we talked about the fall of Babylon. This group of verses pose that because of witchcraft being practiced, it led to the enslavement of nations. This is a wild leap to make. Even more than that, it is rich, coming from a deity that actually has rules on how to have slaves. I would like to know how one is the cause of the other, because without that, it makes zero sense how you come to a conclusion of witchcraft equaling enslavement of nations or debaucheries. Please make it make sense. It does not specifically say what they were doing. What kind of witchcraft were they doing? You can't just say that witchcraft as a whole is debauchery or is wrong, because some people do witchcraft for self-improvement, progression in states of life, or status in life and whatnot. They do things for the betterment of their home, of their family, of people around them. They do witchcraft for all different things. Saying that witchcraft as a whole is a debauchery, and saying that it enslaves communities and enslaves the communities around them is a wild leap. Please make it make sense how this one thing correlates to the other, because it doesn't. It really doesn't. Um, and I think there can be much more said about, uh, you know, the Christians who would be saying this to you. Um, I think it's rich coming from them that they talk about enslavement of other people. Please make that make sense. We move on to Zechariah 10, verse 2. Or, no. Yeah, it's Zechariah. I thought it was Zebediah. Or Zephadiah. No, it's Zechariah. 10, verse 2. For the teraphim have spoken nonsense. The diviners have seen false visions. Deceitful dreams they have told. Empty comfort they have offered. This is why they wandered like sheep, wretched, for they have no shepherd. Okay. We have a lot to unpack here. Okay. First off, I want to read the footnotes that are in the New Catholic Answer Bible, because yeah, this is definitely a thing. And if you you see Karen the caddy. Karen, you trying to get out? Sorry, Papa's got you locked in. Go up on your seat, baby. Anyway, yeah, stare at the kitties. Hi, Jelly. Yeah, Jelly ain't having it. She's like, this little thing. Anyway, I want to read the footnotes of this verse. It has here for teraphim, household idols or occult objects, and then it gives some verses here, or ancestor statuettes. Okay, I have issues, as you can probably guess. First of all, idols don't speak. I don't think I need to say this to all of you, but that doesn't happen. So they have not spoken nonsense because they have not spoken at all. Then it is said that diviners have false visions. This happens from time to time. I'm not going to deny this. It does happen. From time to time, you're going to get things wrong. If you are a tarot reader, or if you are somebody that reads runes or works with your intuition at all, sometimes you're going to have a situation where something comes through and it's completely false. Okay. If you ever meet somebody that says they are 100% correct every single time, run and run fast, because they are lying to you and they are an unethical reader, which is a big thing for me. Okay. If you, and I already said that, I'll read it anyway. This is in my notes. If you meet someone that says they've never misinterpreted the cards, runes, etc., run. Then it makes in an insinuation. I can barely read my handwriting here. Then it makes an insinuation that they purposely gave deceitful dream interpretations. As someone who strives to be an ethical reader, this isn't something I would ever do just to offer comfort. If you get a reading from me, I'm telling you the flat out truth. I'm probably going to try to make it in the best way possible, but I'm going to tell you what the cards are saying, because that's what you're coming to me for. You're asking for a reading. I'm giving you a reading. I'm not going to dance around things. If I tell you that, you're screwing up, that you're messing something up, I'm going to tell you. If that's what the cards say, that's what I say. I just try to put a nice little spin on it of, hey, this is saying that you're messing up. You can fix it, but this is what the cards are saying. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see. But to offer it just as comfort, just making stuff up, falsely telling people something in order to comfort them, does not help them. This is a sign of an unethical reader. Then it has this part about wandering like sheep because of not having a shepherd. This is against the point of having a reader, getting a reading, or being a practitioner. If you're getting or giving a reading, the point is to gain clarity and direction, so there is a shepherd as long as the reader is being ethical. As far as the practice of witchcraft, a large portion of the practices are focused on self-improvement and progressing towards a better station in life. So direction is there, a shepherd is present, and I categorically reject this verse as a reason against witchcraft. And if you saw the lights just dim, that's because it is now 10 o'clock and the automatic timers went out on these. Let me go ahead and see if I can light myself up a little. Just a little. How's that? Perfect. I think. Maybe. I don't know. Let's go ahead and turn to Malachi, chapter 3, verse 5. As you can see, I am not having this whole, like, well, you know, we're going to play nice. No, I'm tired of playing nice here. Because you're telling people falsehoods, you're telling them the wrong things, and you're misrepresenting what people in a witchcraft tradition or in a witchcraft practice actually do. You're lying to people, and if you are the one spreading these types of verses saying, oh, witchcraft is evil because of this, you're wrong. And you don't know what you're talking about. So let's go to Malachi chapter 3, verse 5. And what do you guys think of the mug? I kind of like it. I've had this one for a while. It's been in my cupboard and been waiting on me to use it. I think I might have used it whenever I was down in Dover, but can't remember if I had it on screen or not. But I've been taking it with me down to Dover as a nice little tea mug for me down there. But this was a mug that was clean, so I used it. Okay, chapter 3, verse 5, if we're all there in the book of Malachi. Okay, it says, I will draw near to you for judgment, and I will be swift to bear witness against sorcerers, adulterers, perjurers, those who deprive a laborer of wages, oppress a widow or an orphan, or turn aside a resident alien without fearing me, says the Lord of hosts. There is a lot to process in this verse. If anybody ever comes to you, stating this verse, which Malachi is another one. Zechariah is kind of, every once in a while somebody quotes it, but like Nahum, yeah, nobody ever quotes that. Nobody ever quotes Habakkuk, or Habakkuk, however you say that. Habakkuk, I think is the way it's said. Haggai, I believe, right? Yep, Haggai, they never quote. Malachi, they don't really ever quote. Obadiah, they rarely ever quote. Yeah, there's certain books in the Bible that just people don't even acknowledge. So, yeah, this is one of those books. However, if somebody were to come to you, there's a lot to unpack here. Most of it has to do as to whether or not they are being hypocritical themselves and whatnot. So, giving you an overview of this. Okay. If anyone ever comes to you with this verse, they may need to examine their own life and stance on issues. First off, I must reiterate that there is zero reasoning still given about why witchcraft isn't supposed to be allowed. I have theories, and I have things to back up those theories. However, that's going to be at the end of the series. Okay, then we have the adulterers and perjurers, people who lie and cheat. So if the person who says this verse to you, they better have never done either of these things. Good luck on that when you consider that thinking about someone is a lustful way, in a lustful way, is considered adultery that you have already committed, if you are already married. So if you lust after somebody while you're already married, you have committed adultery. Is in some other verses considered a sin. So yes, basically they are making thought a crime. So if they've ever done that and they're married, they have committed adultery. So they should not be throwing this verse at you because they're apparently doing it as well. If they have ever lied about anything that they've done, then they've committed perjury, whether it's, on the stand or not. They have committed perjury. They have lied. Let's see. Furthermore, this is one of my favorites. Those who deprive laborers of wages. So, if you're a business owner who does not pay a livable wage, then you're named in here too. So get your shit together. This doesn't even this isn't even to mention those who oppress widows and orphans, but even turn aside from a resident alien, aka immigrants. If the person that is spouting this to you is basically anti-immigration, yeah, this verse applies to them. Because apparently you're supposed to treat humans like humans, I guess. Just shocking. Revelations abound. So anyway, yeah, this is one of those verses that, fix yourself before you come to me, because what you're doing is just as bad. Because, if you are going strictly by the Bible as a fundamentalist, a sin is a sin is a sin. It doesn't matter. There is no category as to which one's worse than the other, unless you're going through like the Catholic version and whatnot. But anyway, a sin is a sin. Okay. So if you're going by that standard, that one sin is equal to another sin, a murder is as bad as a lie about eating a cookie whenever you said that you didn't, a sin is still a sin. And if that is your standard, then, check your stance on immigration. Check your stance on whether or not you've ever lied about anything, or if you're committing this thought adultery. Kind of fix yourself before you come after me, because you ain't my judge. Let's go ahead and turn to Matthew 24, verse 24, and we're going to round it out there. I'm going to make this one kind of short and sweet. As far as the overall video, because I don't have a huge rant on this one. Matthew verse 24, or chapter 24, verse 24, which reads, "False messiahs and false prophets will arise, and they will perform signs and wonders so great as to deceive, that if that were possible, even the elect." Okay. So, let me get this straight. That if this is ever said to you, for one, these people don't know a damn thing about witchcraft. The person saying that basically they are clearly ignorant of witchcraft, and what it is. Witches aren't going around stating that they are prophets or a messiah. I don't think anybody who practices witchcraft is saying that they are the second coming of Christ. Enough said. So to say that, this is a witchcraft thing because it has false prophets. Again, we're at the false prophet thing. If we're sitting there talking about false prophets and whatnot, I have seen a crap ton of them with the evangelical groups coming out fairly recently that are self-professing as prophets. This is worrisome, especially with some of the revelations that they have. I think I may have to start doing videos on some of the news that is going on out there. This channel is so many times it is more introspective and a place outside of the outer world, and a lot of the politics and stuff out there really kind of gets left at the door whenever we come onto this channel and whatnot. Sometimes it comes up. I called out somebody that's clearly a Trump supporter on my channel. I called them out on the BS that they were spewing. So sometimes politics and the outside world does come into this channel. Now, that was never my intent to make it a political channel, but some things are getting so crazy, and I do want to keep it more religious oriented, because I do love studying religions and the effects of people and the cultures and the backgrounds, and believing or seeing what people believe in, and what they find truth in. So I do want to keep this channel towards that, but I also want to get your guys' opinion. And I want to gender neutralize my wording here. I want to get all y'all's opinion on what if I were to cover some of the news articles that are happening out there. The Universal Life Church actually has a fairly decent newsletter that comes out, I believe it's once a month, and they have different articles and whatnot about some of the things that are happening in religious context, whether it be in Christianity or paganism or whatnot. So what do you guys think about, or I'm purposely trying to make sure that I gender neutralize my wording. And whenever I do it, I'm going to stop and I'm going to fix myself because I'm learning. And I need you guys, I need you all to keep me accountable of that, because I do want to be respectful. But what do you all think about me doing videos like that? Maybe not on a scheduled release or anything like that, but on a, like an off-the-cuff type of special, like maybe do a special report like I have coming out this week. So what do you all think of that? Leave comments below. Do let me know, because I think there is some very harmful things coming out of the Christian community as of late. Harmful in terms of doctrine, harmful in terms of how it affects other people, and this is stuff that affects all of us, especially in the Christo-Pagan community. It really does affect all of us. not just the Christian community, but the Christo-Pagan community. And there's also news out there in the pagan community front that can also be talked about, such as the whole Panera Bread issue and whatnot. Stuff like that. So, what do you all think about me doing like a special broadcast, a special report, maybe once a week or once every other week or something like that? Let me know by leaving a comment below, because I think that would be kind of interesting. And yeah, I have different ideas here and there that I will be sharing later this week in the first special report, about how I plan to move this channel a little bit more in the future here. So do join me then. I don't mean to be cryptic, maybe a little bit I do, but see, here's the thing. Thursday, I talked about with the table talk that it is hard for me to tell a lie. And I just did it. I tried to be coy and say I don't mean to deceive you, or don't mean to be coy, and then maybe I do. Like, I can't do it. It's hard for me to tell lies. Even if I can edit this out, I won't, because, well, screw it. But yeah, I do mean to be a little bit coy, but I also don't. There's just certain things I'm not allowed to say right now, and I will be able to, by the end of this week, hopefully be allowed to let the kitty out of the bag. So join me for that special report. Join me on Tuesdays for Tarot Talk Tuesday. We're going to be finishing up the Suit of Swords, and then we move on to the Wands after that. So join me on Tarot Talk Tuesday for that. For Witchy Wednesday, we are finishing out with the Crown Chakra. So join me for that. Join me on Table Talk Thursday for our table topics. Yeah, join me then for that. And join me on Saturday for our Witchy Book Club series. We're going through Chapter 3 of the Outer Temple of Witchcraft, which actually is not in this room right now. It is out in the car because I filmed my video yesterday, or that went live today, but yeah, anyway, you guys know how time works. I filmed it at work. If you guys saw that, again, if you all saw that, but then I put the book in my car, and I do realize that I said guys a couple times, and we're gonna address that, and we're gonna move on, because being cognizant of words, especially us as witchy individuals, need to be aware of our words. Anyway, and then join me on Sunday for our 7th part of the Witchcraft in the Bible for the Christo-Pagan series. So, with all that being said, I think I just popped the mic a little bit, watching my audio levels there. With all of that being said, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.